And we've been fighting with the schools here in Santa Barbara for a long time. Actually, even before COVID, my mark in the schools is I've been involuntarily transferred 6 times. And they do that because you get too much power, too much notoriety, and they have to move you because they have to break it up. So it's okay. It's been hard, but you know, as an educator, we're always learning something. And I know the day's gonna come where we get to see the reward for the things that we've done. And I believe that's this side of heaven. So I think our day is coming. I feel it in the air. And so I think we just have to keep our eyes on the things that are good, find the silver lining in all that they do to us, and keep fighting the good fight. Because like Sari said, that's what we want. We want what God wants for us. We want what's good for families. They've attacked the family. They've tried to destroy the family, but He is in the business of families, and He's in the business of love. And so I think we just have to keep going and trust Him and see what He has for us. So I spent a little bit of time writing this letter for Sonya, and we had coffee earlier today. And I said, listen, I know all the goings on in this county, so let's start here in Santa Barbara. Let's make it a model for the rest of the state of California, because really some things that happened in Santa Barbara are ground zero. You know, we were ground zero for DEI, CRT, and LGBTQ. It started 20 years ago in my physical education classroom at San Marcos High School. We were put through the indoctrination camps, and so I have seen the big picture. I know the story. And what we really need is we need our leadership replaced so that we can make that change. And if she gets in Sacramento, and we can get some people at the school boards here in Santa Barbara, and yes, I was gonna be a 5th-time candidate this round, but Joe Holland and the judge, they're in cahoots, and they kicked me off the ballot. They didn't get me off in 2022, but they got me off this time. But that's okay, because I'm not going away. I haven't gone away, and I'm not gonna go away. So we're just gonna keep going until God gives us breakthrough, and He is gonna be the one that brings breakthrough. So here's my letter. I said, Dear Sonya, I'm Christy Lozano, a 19-year classroom teacher in Santa Barbara Unified School District, an Air Force veteran, mother, and 2-time candidate for County Superintendent of Schools. It would have been my 5th campaign because I've run for school board several times, and I got some very good statistics last time I ran. In 2022, I qualified for the ballot and won a court fight to stay on it. This year, the same county registrar, Joe Holland, who accepted my paperwork 4 years ago, refused it outright, citing an invalid administrative service credential that a judge had already ruled valid. That single decision demonstrates a powerful barrier in California public education that you will face should you win in November general election. A self-protecting wall purpose-built to keep reformers out and insiders safely inside. You already have an admirable platform. You want to cut wasteful bureaucracy, restore high academic standards in reading, writing, and math, protect Title IX and girls' sports and privacy, give parents a real seat at the table, and support excellent teachers instead of shielding the insiders who fail them. Bravo. Failed government education throughout the county of Santa Barbara demonstrates why those policies are urgent. Some of the bricks in the wall of obstruction include taxpayer-funded political consultants, a radicalized teachers union, and taxpayer funding of progressive non-governmental organizations, NGOs. Each one builds on and reinforces the other to negate any real academic progress. The political consulting racket. For more than a decade, the Santa Barbara County Office of Education, led by Superintendent Susan Salcido, has paid former State Superintendent Jack O'Connell's firm, Capital Advisors LLC, $3,000 a month, nearly $500,000 taxpayer dollars since 2013 for political consultation. That kind of money does not help kids learn. It helps incumbents stay in power, courtesy of taxpayer funds, deposited in former politicians' pockets. Radicalized Teachers Union. The Santa Barbara Teachers Association and its selective protection collected more than $18,000 in dues from me over 18 years, yet it protected teachers later fired in million-dollar sexual abuse settlements and stayed silent when I faced retaliation for speaking out to protect children. The same union did nothing while administrators oversaw repeated sexual abuse cases from 2014 to 2023. Many of those administrators resigned just before multi-million-dollar taxpayer-funded lawsuits were brought, and then quietly resurfaced on other districts or surprise on this county's own payroll. Susan Salcido hired many of these administrators who had to resign. The teachers union also went to all 20 local districts when I ran in 2022 and made the teachers sign a contract that they would vote for her. Progressive NGOs, Laura Capps, Santa Barbara Unified School District Board member, county supervisor, and board member of Planned Parenthood and the Community Environmental Council, has spent years spewing forth public relations efforts for national progressive causes, including Soros-backed groups, the Indivisible group. Once on the school board and now a county supervisor, Capps bends over backwards to fund all things progressive. Logic and outcomes be damned. Former SBUSD Superintendent Dave Cash partnered with Just Communities Central Coast to push equity and restorative justice programs that distract from basic academics and later drew federal complaints. Next is blacklisting of reformers and fact seekers. Millions of dollars were spent through Santa Barbara County on Just Communities and its toxic, divisive indoctrination programs. A small band of radical NGOs get richly funded. But who speaks out against them? Blacklisted. I saw the blacklist in action. I've applied for 26 administrative and teaching positions across Santa Barbara County between February 2022 and March 2025. 0 interviews. Even administrators who once wrote me glowing recommendation letters would not hire me. The message was clear: speak up and you're excommunicated. I have 4 humble suggestions. Your platform already targets bureaucracy and insider protection. Given my firsthand experience, I humbly suggest adding 4 more. Each one rests on existing authority in the Education Code and the powers of the Superintendent of Public Instruction. Powers I hope you will wield with conviction and wisdom when you're sworn in 2027. First, direct every county office of education to post all consulting contracts over $25,000 on a public dashboard updated monthly, including the full unreduced contracts. The Superintendent of Public Instruction already has broad oversight and transparency authority under the Education Code. Second, direct the Commission on Teacher Credentialing to adopt and publish non-transparent statewide checklists for reviewing administrative service credentials applied equally to every applicant. This ends the selective enforcement I and other reformers have experienced. Third, mandate independent, routine compliance audits of how districts and county offices handle child abuse and Title IX reports with clear career and financial consequences for administrators who shuffle problem personnel instead of removing them. And I've seen that firsthand in Santa Barbara Unified. Somebody is a sex offender, they don't get fired, they get transferred to another school to do more damage. Fourth, this one is critical, require full public disclosure of all contracts and payments between school districts, county offices, and third-party NGOs, especially those involved in equity, DEI, SEL, or social justice programming. Direct the Department of Education to review these expenditures in annual audits for compliance with state academic priorities and prohibitions on using public funds for ideological indoctrination. California spends more per pupil than almost any state in the country. Fewer than half our kids read at grade level. Florida, Texas, Tennessee, states the California elites love to mock, have left us behind on national assessment of educational progress scores, graduation rates, and parent satisfaction. They did it by choosing real reform, clearer standards, stronger parental rights, less bureaucracy, and no protection for insider or failing administrators. Sonya, you are fighting for families and their students, not the elite political class the unions, or the NGOs. I saw the dark edifice of all these bricks piled up high. The thought control, the dark sarcasm in the classroom. California deserves a world-class, dynamic, and highly functioning system of education, not state-sponsored indoctrination camps. I and millions of other Californians will come out to support you in this primary and in the general election in November. Let us help you remove the bricks that protect a corrupt and failed government education system. Together, let's tear down this wall. I think that we're one of 58 counties in California, and what's hit us hard, I think that there's a lot of low-hanging fruit here. I think this is a place where people are tired of it. It's a place where the elbow rubbing has to stop, and I see that it is. It's a small enough town that word of mouth actually does make a difference. And, you know, people don't like to kind of be confronted, but we have to confront. I have confronted these issues. I told Laura Capps last week at the Board of Supervisors meeting, it's time to get you out. Elijah Mack can take your place. You know, I am okay with confrontation. I am a true speaker. I'll take whatever, you know, they throw at me, but we are gonna be a team. It's going to take a team of people that wanna roll up their sleeves and get in the fight and work together, and when we do that, change is gonna come. And if we want change to come to Santa Barbara, then it's gonna be us rallying together with her, and whatever she needs, we're gonna be boots on the ground to do. So we thank you very much for coming, and we look forward to working with you very soon.